Hey, what's up you guys? This is your girl Christina. Welcome to my channel. And today I'm going to cover one major question. So the question is, if you're studying to become a software developer, you're learning how to code, or you want to get into software engineer, should you be self-taught or should you invest the money and go to school? Which route is better and why? So in this video, I will cover my experience as a college student, because right now I'm a senior at DeVry University, and I also have a paid internship experience as an application developer. So I'll share a little bit about my college experience, and then I will also share about the advantages and disadvantages of being self-taught. So I will cover those two routes today in this video to answer the question, what is the best route that you can take to become a software developer? So stay tuned. Alright, so the first part of this video, I'm going to talk about my college experience to become a software developer. And then the second half of the video, I will cover the route of being self-taught. So this is a two-part video. It may run a little bit long. So I'm going to list it on the screen, the time that, the times for this video. So if you feel like, hey, I'm not a college student, I'm transitioning from one career to the next, then I recommend you skip this part of the video and get right to the part of the video where I talk about the self-taught route. Now, if you're a brand new college student and you are studying in the field of computer science, then yes, stay right there, watch this part of the video. Or maybe you're just not sure which route to take and you're just listening to some of these options, then watch the whole video. It's definitely going to be worth your time. So I'm going to cover the first part. First part is college. Should you invest money to go to college to become a software developer? And I will talk about the advantages of going to school and the disadvantages. Now, I'm going to start out with the disadvantages. So a little bit about my backstory. So in my early 20s, I spent 4.5 years in the United States Army. I was active duty and I joined the military straight out of high school. So all I had was a high school diploma when I graduated, and then I went over and served my country. I came back, and when I decided to go back to school and study computer science, doing odd jobs, I worked at Best Buy, and then I finally got blessed to work at an internship for an insurance company as an application developer. I started that internship towards the end of my sophomore year, and I'm still in that program now as a senior. So I got at least a year and a half worth of experience through that internship program, which has been a phenomenal experience for me. Now, college-wise, so the disadvantage about going to college is time. So, because as you think about it, I left the military 3.5 years ago, and college, it takes about 4 years to get a bachelor's degree. So I had to wait 4 years before I could finally transition into my next career, which is that takes a long time. That's a disadvantage to wait that long, and then I have to work all these odd jobs to make it work. But thank God I finally got an internship, a paid internship, to be an application developer that helped me enhance my skill set. So that's the first disadvantage about college, is time. Another disadvantage about college, for me personally, I can't speak for all schools, but the school that I did attend, I feel like the school that I went to, they didn't do enough hands-on experience. Hands-on coding, it's not a lot. Don't expect too much hands-on experience in the college classroom. Because during, when I took programming classes, object-oriented programming, yes, we did some homework assignments. Yes, we had some labs, but they were very fundamental for me, because a little bit about myself, I did have some coding exposure, a coding background meaning like I took C++, I took Java back in high school, so this wasn't new to me, this wasn't foreign to me, this was very um known to me, so it felt like a refresher course and didn't challenge me. So I had to take the initiative and challenge myself by self-taught. I had to teach myself more advanced concepts. The school wasn't doing that. It was just cover more fundamentals, which is nothing wrong because there was some students who's never done coding in their life, and that is a perfect course for them. But for me, the material for me, it was too basic. The homework assignments was too basic. Like I would have not put any of my homework assignments as my portfolio. I just couldn't. It's too basic. Like anybody can do this application. Like you can find these examples in the textbook. So I wouldn't use those homework assignments in my portfolio. You see what I'm saying? It's just way too basic. It doesn't really showcase what I know and how to apply these principles. But nevertheless, they were good classes and helped me core, concrete, get my understanding of these different programming concepts. So that's number 2, disadvantage. There's not a lot of hands-on coding experience in college. You have to take it upon yourself to teach yourself, which is kind of weird because you spend all this money just to not get that hands-on experience. It's weird. Now, another disadvantage about schools in general is the program itself, because I've been doing some research, right? And the classes, trying to unlock my tablet. That's why I'm doing like the weird face. So when I go to school, right? So as a computer, my degree program is called Computer Information Systems. So it's not computer science. This is a very specific degree with a specific concentration of software programming. So, but it's weird because in schools, certain schools, it's the naming. So maybe for some degrees, they call it computer science. And it's just a very broad degree that covers all these different theories. But you have to make sure you pick classes that pertains to being a software developer. Like for example here, like your degree program should at least cover OOP, database, maybe data structures and algorithms, software engineering. So these classes, so I know some schools may not offer these classes in your degree program. So that's why you have to do your research and make sure you put yourself in the right degree path and the right degree program. That way you're getting these essential classes in as a software developer. But the thing about these schools is that they don't tell you head on. Like you really have to do your research and check on your degree path before you agree to it. So before you say computer science, make sure you check for other degree programs that focus more on a specific concentration, like computer information systems. Which is one of the reasons why I like about my school is that it's so technical. Like there isn't a lot of too much theories. It's not generic. It's a very specific degree path. So that's why I picked computer information systems over just computer science. But that's what they offer at my school. Some other colleges or universities, they may just offer computer science, and you just have to make sure that you have to tailor your classes just, for software developers. So I'll put in the description below the core classes you need to take, to become a successful developer. Good things, good knowledge, good concepts you need to know to become a really good developer. I'll list some of these important classes, and then if you check your degree program and it's not included, you need to talk to an advisor, like ASAP. Like you should have these certain classes. So I'll put it in the description below. Some of the classes that I felt that were extremely important for developers to know. So I'll cover that. Now, that's all the disadvantages of college. Besides the fact that it's too expensive, first of all, uh, too expensive. Student loans is off the roof ridiculous. So that I don't need to explain any more further than that. Number two, and another disadvantage is the time. So if you're switching careers, you have to wait like 4 years before you finally get into your next career as a software developer. So that's time. So money, time, and then the courses. Make sure you're picking the right degree program, because the way the schools set up their programs, it may not be as straightforward. You have to do your research, ask questions, ask what's the best degree path you need to take to become a software developer. And like I said, I'll list it in the description below all the classes that are essential for you to know as a software developer. And if you don't have it in your degree program, you need to go talk to your advisor like ASAP. So that's why I covered the disadvantages. Now, the advantages of going to college. Now, the number one advantage that for having a degree is the job search. Because if you think about it, right? When you go on LinkedIn, right? You see these requirements. What's normally the first thing that employers require people to have? A degree. That's like the very first thing that they focus on is, hey, do you have a degree in computer science, engineering, or whatever? Do you have a degree? And then the next requirement is experience. So 9 out of 10 job postings that I see on LinkedIn, the first thing that they require is a degree. So that's the advantage of going to school, because employers do heavily look at degrees. Do you have a degree? That's like one of the most basic things you should have. So job search, you definitely have a leg up when you have a degree, because it's like a requirement, a check. When they check through tens and thousands of resumes in the system, they check certain keywords, and if a degree is not on your resume, then it's going to skip right over it, which makes it tough for people who are self-taught, because they don't have a degree in it. They have to find more creative ways to catch the employer's attention for an interview. So that's the leg up for college. So that's the first advantage, job search. You be able to land an opportunity real quickly because of that requirement is being met. Now, the downside to that is, yes, you may have a piece of paper saying that, yes, I did this degree, but make sure you have the experience to back it up. Have the experience, know how to do the work. Do you understand the frameworks and the said technologies? So make sure that when you had a degree, make sure you have the experience to back it up. That's common sense nowadays. Oh, another advantage of going to school is the concepts. The concepts and the theories and the fundamentals that I've learned, in school. So some of the things I've learned: system analysis and design methods, object-oriented programming. And this is actually a 2-part book. And you know what's interesting about this textbook? Only chapter 13 is the only chapter that really talks about OOP. Everything else is just fluff. I learned about networks, Cisco networking. I learned about IT essentials. I learned about cryptography. Oh my gosh, this book is the size of a Harry Potter book times 10. Technical communications. And this is basically just a writing course and knowing how to write. So I took a lot of courses like those. Those are some of the textbooks. And no, I don't carry those textbooks around. Why would I? When we have these wonderful tablets that just fit all my textbooks and these ebooks. I don't carry those big old things around. I don't know why I got those books. Waste of money. Ebooks is the way to go. But yes, those are some of the classes that I've taken in my degree program, and honestly, it definitely did help me to understand better fundamentals wise. It helped me as a developer, especially understanding object-oriented programming, definitely knowing design, system analysis and design. I took a class on logic and design, how to create your application. Interesting part about logic and design class, we barely do any coding. It's literally just sitting there and planning out your code. Like, you don't even code, you just sit there and plan and think of requirements and questions, and you think about the end user and the expected outcome, and just planning out the classes and what, the input, the process, and then the output. So it was a really good class. So classes like those, I really benefit, because if I was self-taught, I definitely would have missed all those steps. I definitely would have had the mindset of, hey, you just go in and start coding, which is not true at all. Like, people who create applications, they take a step back and they plan everything before they start coding. But there's no way I could have known that if I didn't take this class in college. So, great benefit about going to school. You get to learn these basic principles. And of course, that's also another great advantage about college is soft skills. Soft skills are so important. And I've realized they became more important. I didn't really realize how important they are until I got to my internship. Because in school, you know how we do math classes, writing, public speaking class, like all those soft skills you learn in school, they're so imperative. Pay attention to those classes, because when you go work for a company, your soft skills are going to be used. They are necessary. Because as a developer, you're working on a team, and you're not just only dealing with other developers, you're dealing with other people who are not technical as you are. So you gotta have the skills to break down what you see in the code and be able to communicate that to someone who is not a developer, and just be able to explain what's going on in plain English, layman's terms, and etc. Documentation. That's why I took this class, technical communication, because this class talked about writing, documentation. Now, it's not necessarily about coding documentation. It's just in general documentation, like memos, emails, stuff like that. I really didn't learn how to properly document my debugging and coding until I got to my internship. Then I got a little bit more organized. But this was a really good foundation course. Technical communications. In your school is just writing class. So that's one of the advantages of going to school, besides being self-taught, is you get to cover those soft skills and kind of refresh yourself and brush up on those skills, because that's just one of those skills that you really don't get to cover, as a self-taught developer. You just focus on building your portfolio, building your projects, showing your skill set. So being able to reinforce those concepts of communication and writing and stuff like that in school, it's really, really beneficial, and you're really going to stand out. So that's also another advantage of going to college, is you get to cover on those soft skills. Now, at this part of the video, I'm going to talk about the route of becoming a software developer by being strictly self-taught. And I'll talk about the advantages and disadvantages. So I'm going to cover the disadvantages first. The disadvantage of being self-taught, what I've seen so far, because I talk to other people, I follow social media, I follow a lot of people who are being self-taught, and I'm also spoken with people who are self-taught, and they're trying to find opportunities. So the number one disadvantage of being self-taught is it's a lot harder for you to land an interview. For some reason, I've seen it all over Twitter, and I've seen a lot of this common theme is that people who are self-taught are struggling to land an interview. They're struggling to get an opportunity to even get an interview. So that's the number one disadvantage that I've noticed so far. Now, I'm not saying that, you're never going to land a job. It's going to happen eventually for you, but it may take a little longer than you expected. It's not as easy to get through the door. Because when you're self-taught developer, you have to prove so much more than the college students. Because honestly, if let's say we have an employer, right? An employer has one candidate that has a degree and they have internship experience, and they may have another candidate that doesn't have a computer science degree, and they've been self-taught for like 9 months or whatever. So, depending how the company flows, they may decide to take the candidate that has a degree and the internship experience over someone who's self-taught, and they've only been doing it for 9 months. So, I'm not saying that's going to be true for all cases. It just depends on what the recruiter is looking for and what the company values in each candidate. But yeah, like it's a hurdle that self-taught developers have to go through. Like, it's a little bit tougher to get in for interviews. Now, another disadvantage of being self-taught is time. Just like the college thing, just like with college, it may take 4 years, but when you're self-taught, you have to create your own schedule, your own curriculum, and your own timeline. Because unlike college is structured. They give you a 4-year plan. As long as you go to these classes, you do well, you understand them, and you build your portfolio with your classes, at least that's a very structured timeline. Like, you know exactly when you're going to graduate. You know when you're going to be done with that program and move on to bigger and better things. When you're self-taught, you have to be super organized. You have to create your own timeline, your own curriculum, build your portfolio, and you have to keep yourself accountable of your own timeline. So for me personally, if I didn't go to school and I was strictly self-taught, I probably would give myself a timeline of 6 months or a year. But it really goes back to the question is, how proficient are you? How proficient do you feel as a developer? Is your skill set strong enough for you to go for an interview? So that's just a whole nother question in itself. So that's another disadvantage about being self-taught, is that you have to create your own schedule, your own curriculum. Now, it's not necessarily a disadvantage per se, but like I said, if you're not an organized, if you're not a disciplined individual where you can create your own schedule and your own curriculum and stick to it, if you're not that kind of person, you're going to struggle a lot to change careers. It may take you a whole year instead of 6 months or whatever. So be mindful about that. So those are some of the disadvantages of being self-taught. Now I'm going to talk about the advantages of being self-taught. Now, the advantages of being self-taught. The number one is you're able to switch careers a lot quicker. And honestly, like I said before, if I didn't have the benefit of the GI Bill, I probably would have done the self-taught route. I probably would not have went to school and put myself in student loan debt. I probably would not have done that. I probably would have taken the self-taught route, create my own schedule, follow the curriculum, build my portfolio, and etc. And then maybe within like 6 months or maybe a year after I got out of the military, I probably would have found my way into an interview and get employed. Now, I understand that there will be some downside to it. It's going to be a little bit harder to get the attention of an employer because you don't have a degree per se, but I definitely will have taken that route. So switching careers is going to be a lot quicker because it's on your timeline, not the school's 4-year degree and paying thousands of dollars. You have your own schedule. You pick your curriculum, and you could change careers within 6 to 9 months. You don't have to wait 4 years. So that's the advantage of being self-taught. That's one of them. Number 2, another advantage of being self-taught is it's cheaper. And most times it's free to teach yourself these skill sets of learning how to program, using frameworks, learning about them, and then applying it to your portfolio. So instead of spending thousands of dollars on school, you can teach yourself for free. Like, my God, there's so many resources out there. Like, there's Free Code Camp. They literally have over 300 hours of content within a curriculum. You can learn web design, JavaScript, data structures and algorithms. You can teach yourself front-end development. So you can teach yourself a lot of things for free. There's too many resources out there. There's even paid subscriptions like Pluralsight, Code Academy, and there's just so much information out there. So because there's so many resources, you can essentially teach yourself everything for less than like $100, or even for free. So something to hugely consider when you're self-taught. Like, I feel like it's the better route because it's cheaper. You don't have to put yourself in debt to learn how to code. There's too many resources out there. There's no excuse. There's no holding you back. Money is not going to hold you back from learning. So that's also an advantage of being self-taught developer. Another advantage with being a self-taught developer is you get to maximize your portfolio. And some people may say, like, maximize your portfolio. Yes, your portfolio. Your portfolio, that's what's going to land you your next opportunity. Your portfolio is going to be your personal brand of what your skill set is going to do. So as a self-taught developer, you have to put your portfolio on steroids. And I will cover a video on how to build your portfolio and learn how to diversify and maximize your portfolio that shows your skill set as a developer. So subscribe to my channel. That way you know the moment I drop that video. But yes, as a self-taught developer, you be able to kind of go crazy on your portfolio because you want to showcase your best skills. So when you're building your portfolio, it shows a lot about you and your skill set. And that's what makes it very enticing to employers. So if you sit for an interview and you're able to show all these different projects, what you did, your passion projects and all that stuff, that's going to catch your employer's eye a little bit more than just a college student just showing up with a piece of paper. Because at least they know with you and your portfolio that, hey, this person can do it. They can build this. They can sit there and build an application on their own. So it just looks better. It just looks better compared to a college student with no portfolio. And you have a portfolio showcasing what you can do. That's evidence. That's proof backing up your claim as a developer. So that's another advantage of being self-taught developer, is that you really get to go crazy on your portfolio and really showcase what you can do. So take advantage of that. So wrapping up this video, honestly, there's so many different ways to become a software developer, learning how to code. Just remember, if you're switching careers or you're just or you want to become a software developer, know what you're signing up to do. Like, really research this job, okay? Because as a software developer, you are spending at least 6 to 8 hours behind a desk, staring at a computer, debugging through code, maintenance, or development, whatever. So make sure this is something that you really want to do. Don't just do it to chase money. If you're in this career to chase money, then you're not gonna last long. You're gonna get burnt out very quickly, because this is not something that you can get rich quickly off of, and you're gonna burn yourself out, and you're gonna end up not sticking it out for the long haul. So make sure you're in this career for the right reasons. Besides money, if money is your driving motivation, then you're not going to make it far. You're not going to stick it out. You're just not going to make it. But if you do it because you enjoy coding and you like coding and you see yourself doing this for a long time, definitely stick it out. That's why I recommend to a lot of people, make sure that if you're a college student, get an internship. Get some exposure, get some experience. So that way you know exactly what you're getting yourself into before you invest your money and your time in any of these routes that I mentioned in this video. Alright, you guys, so thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you guys enjoyed the content. If you like this video, go ahead and give a thumbs up. I appreciate the love. If you want to subscribe to my channel is to help software developers, for those who are brand new, to land their first opportunity. I cover coding, tech lifestyle, and productivity. So if that's you and that sounds good to you, go ahead and you know what to do and subscribe to your girl, Dev Diva Hack, and hit the bell. That way you know the moment I drop a video. So thank you so much for watching. Hope y'all have a great day. Happy 4th of July. And catch y'all in the next video. Peace.